Okay, dear students, observe the question for non-negative integer n, f of n is equal to sigma k is equal to 0 to n sin k plus 1 by n plus 2 pi into sin k plus 2 by n plus 2 pi whole by sigma k is equal to 0 to n sin square k plus 1 by n plus 2 pi. Let assuming cos inverse x take values in closure 0 to pi, then which of the following option is are correct? Now the first option, sine of 7 cos inverse of f of 5 is equal to 0. Second option, f of 4 is equal to root 3 by 2. And third option, limit n tends to infinity, f of n is equal to 1 by 2. Now fourth option, if alpha is equal to tan of cos inverse f of 6, then alpha square plus 2 alpha minus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, actually this is the question from JEE-ADVANCED 2019 from paper 2. From section 1, this is more than one option type question. Okay, now we have to solve this question, right? Solution for this one. Let us take the function that is f of n is equal to sigma k is equal to 0 to n sin k plus 1 by n plus 2 pi into sin k plus 2 by n plus 2 pi whole by sigma k is equal to 0 to n sin square k plus 1 by n plus 2 into pi. Now this is depends upon the formula. Here we have to write forms. 2 sin a sin b is equal to cos a minus b minus cos a plus b. This is one formula. And 2 sin square theta is equal to 1 minus cos 2 theta. Now from these two forms you have to write both the numerator and denominator. Okay. In numerator we have to apply the first formula. Then f of n is equal to here. So we have to divide and multiply by 2. So divide both the numerator and denominator by 2. Then it is sigma k is equal to 0 to n. Then it is nothing but, so difference of the cosine expansions, cos a minus b is nothing but pi by n plus 2 minus cos sum of these 2k plus 3 by n plus 2 into pi whole by this is sigma k is equal to 0 to n 1 minus cos 2k plus 2 by n plus 2 into pi. Now we have to expand these. That means here, observe, here k is equal to 0 to n. Here cos of pi by n plus 2 is independent of k. That's why it is constant. So remaining 1 is there. For 1, k is equal to, that means the summation of k is equal to 0 to n on 1 of 1. That means 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n plus 1. That's why n plus 1 times of 1s are there. That's why instead of this one, n plus 1 into cos of pi by n plus 2. That's all. Now sigma notation minus expand this one. For sigma notation, expand this one. For k is equal to 0, it is cos 3 pi by n plus 2 plus, for k is equal to 1, we have to write cos of 3 pi by n plus 2 plus 1 into 2 pi by n plus 2. Okay. For k is equal to 2 plus cos of 3 pi by 2 plus 2 into 2 pi by n plus 2. 3 pi by n plus 2 plus 2 into 3 pi by 2 pi by n plus 2 plus so on plus up to n minus 1 terms. But here n goes to n plus 1. That's why here it is cos of 3 pi by n plus 2 plus n times of 2 pi by n plus 2. So that is the expansion of, that means the summation summation, say summation of this term, summation of this term. Now in denominator also same, k is equal to 0 to n of 1, n plus 1 times are there, right? Minus, expand this one, same process here also, cos, for k is equal to 0, it is 2 pi by n plus 2, plus, for k is equal to 1, here it is 2 pi by n plus 2 plus, so 1 into 2 pi by n plus 2 plus so on, plus cos of 2 pi by n plus 2 plus n into 2 pi by n plus 2. That's all. Now this is depends upon the formula. That is very important formula, especially for this problem. Now that is, we know that cos alpha plus beta plus cos alpha plus 2 beta plus so on, plus cos alpha plus n minus 1 into beta is equal to sin n beta by 2 by sin beta by 2 into cos of alpha plus n minus 1 into beta by 2. That's all. Now this is the formula. So this formula is the center point for this question. This formula is the center point for this question. Okay. Now according to this formula, we have to simplify both the numerator and denominator. That's why here we have to write f of n is equal to, here it is n plus 1 cos pi by n plus 2, n plus 1 cos pi by n plus 2 minus formula, by using this formula here, alpha is 3 pi by n plus 2, beta is 2 pi by n plus 2, where n is n plus 1. Now substitute in this formula, that is sin n plus 1, since n goes to n plus 1, n plus 1 pi by n plus 1 into, since beta by 2, beta is 2 pi by n plus 2, beta is 2 pi by n plus 2. What is beta by 2? Pi by n plus 2, pi by n plus 2 into cos, what is that? Cos alpha, what is alpha? 3 pi by n plus 2 plus 3 pi by n plus 2 plus n minus 1, where n minus 1 is nothing but, in place of n we have to write n plus 1, since n plus 1 terms are there, n plus 1 minus 1, that way n pi by 2, n into beta by 2, beta by 2 is pi by n plus 2, that's all, beta by 2 is pi by n plus 2, whole by, here also denominator, it is n plus 1, it is cos, that means for this formula for this one, here alpha is 2 pi by n plus 2, alpha is 2 pi by n plus 2, beta is also 2 pi by n plus 2, where n is n plus 1. Say, by using this formula, that is minus sin n plus 1 into beta is pi by n plus 2, into cos. So in numerator you have to write here, here by sin beta by 2. What is beta by 2? That is pi by n plus 2. Now whole by, in denominator, this is n plus 1 minus, same, here it is sin n plus 1 into pi by n plus 2, since alpha is 2 pi by n plus 2, beta is 2 pi by n plus 2. That's why cos 2 pi by n plus 2 plus n into 2 pi by n into pi by n plus 2, since beta by 2, that is whole by So this one by sine pi by n plus 2. That's all. Now from this f of n is equal to since these two gets cancelled, why? Since it is, this can be written n plus 1 cos pi by n plus 2, n plus 1 cos pi by n plus 2 minus, here this can be written sine pi minus pi by n plus 2, here this can be written cos pi plus pi by n plus 2, pi plus pi by n plus 2 whole by denominator n plus 1 minus sine pi minus pi by n plus 2. Here also you have to write the denominator. In this denominator there by, here it is sine pi by n plus 2 whole by, here it is n plus 1 minus, here it is sine pi minus pi by n plus 2 into cos, observe here 2n pi, take common pi, then n plus 2 gets cancelled, then it is pi by sine pi by n plus 2. That's all. So sine 180 minus theta sine theta gets cancelled. Here also sine 180 minus theta sine theta gets cancelled. That's why here we get f of n is equal to in numerator n plus 1 cos pi by n plus 2 plus, since here it is cos 180 plus theta minus plus cos pi by n plus 2 whole by, in denominator, what is denominator? N plus 1. Again here it is cos pi is minus 1, so minus plus, that's why it is plus 1. Now so finally we get f of n is equal to take common cos n pi by n plus 2, take common cos pi by n plus 2 from this one, then cos pi by n plus 2 gets cancelled, in denominator n plus 2, numerator n plus 2, since here it is n plus 2 cos pi by n plus 2 by n plus 2. Now these two gets cancelled. That's why f of n is equal to cos pi by n plus 2. f of n is equal to cos pi by n plus 2. Okay. Now we have to verify the options. Verify the options now. Now we have to take options. Now go to option verification. Now go to option verification. So what we get here? F of n is equal to cos pi by n plus 2 we get. Now from this cos inverse f of n is equal to pi by n plus 2. Now from first option, from option 1, that is sine of 7 cos inverse f of 5. Cos inverse f of 5 means f of 5 is pi by 7, so it is pi by 7. So 7 gets cancelled, it is sin pi. So sin pi is equal to 0. So first option is correct. Now we are going to second option. From option 2, what is that? F of 4 is equal to root 3 by 2. Now f of n is equal to cos pi by n plus 2. That's why this is cos pi by 4 plus 2, 6. Cos pi by 6 is cos 30, that is root 3 by 2. So that is also correct. Now third option. From option 3. From option 3, limit n tends to infinity f of n. F of n means that is cos pi by n plus 2 infinity. So cos 1 by infinity, that is cos 0. Cos 0 is 1, but here it is 1 by 2. That's why third option is wrong. Third option is wrong. Now we are going to from option 4. From option 4, that is alpha is equal to tan of cos inverse of f of 6. F of 6 is, that is cos pi by 8. Cos inverse. That's why cos inverse pi by 8. So it is pi by 8. Tan pi by 8. Tan pi by 8 is nothing but root 2 minus 1. That's why alpha is equal to root 2 minus 1. So alpha plus 1 is equal to root 2. So alpha square minus 2, alpha square plus 2 alpha minus 1 is equal to 0. That's why fourth option is correct. That's why first option correct, second option correct, and third option wrong, fourth option is right. That's all. Okay, right.